You understand that reading is a very essential element in knowledge acquisition. And there is a way to do it properly to get the desired result. And that is by reading combined with assimilation and repetition. That is only when you can have retention and easy recall of that knowledge whenever and wherever you need it. But you see, some people do it wrongly. Some people take the approach of rushed late minute rituals, the night before the exam, piling all the materials and trying to, get everything into the brain. And what does this give? Eventually, it gives them the result of read, um, for on the question or the answer script, the answer sheet in the exam, and forget immediately. One says that you try to feed the brain with a lot of information in a very, very short time and under stressful conditions. And well, you think you could recall that. Some people, yes, they're able to retain that, in the short memory and just quickly walk to the exam hall without speaking to anybody and pour it on the paper if they are lucky to have such material or such questions from the portions they have crammed. And then as they pour it on the paper, they immediately forget what they have even written on the paper. These are the wrong approaches to reading. Now, this means that there is the possibility or the concept of forgetting. Let me quickly talk briefly about the concept of forgetting. Some theories have come up, and the first I want to talk about is the trace decay theory, which says that people can forget when there is a disuse, when information has stayed in a long time without reference to it, without utilization of such information in the memory, it decays and you forget them. And again, some people have said there is an interference theory where new information cannot come in because one is holding on to old information. And the other is called it's still in inferior theory. There's another direction where one, because of old information or because of the new information, one forgets what he has learned before. So there's a two-way thing, the retroactive and the proactive. The proactive is where the new, overtakes the old. And then the retroactive is where the old refuses the new from coming in. And so this is what we have in this theory. Some people talk about the consolidation theory, where they say that you are likely to forget something because the memory system is not perfectly done in such a way that everything you want to absorb in will just go in as you want it. That there is a level of imperfection where some elements of the information you want to store in your memory has to leak out or drop along the way, and you cannot absorb everything. Now, the last theory I'll talk about, there are more, is the cue dependent forgetting theory. And this is where somebody is trying to acquire some information and he uses a particular cue, maybe a particular environment or a particular disposition, or maybe even the way the lecturer was trying to explain it, the context and all of that. And he hangs on to that. And a time comes where he requires that information. And because he used a specific cue, and that cue is not present at the moment, he cannot remember the information. That's a cue dependent forgetting theory. These are theories, there are more. And I'm just bringing them up to show you that you may read, but also forget for some scientifically proven reasons. There are more. You can delve into this on your own later. Now, we achieve retention from reading and assimilation. This is a flow I'm thinking about and I'm sharing with you right now. Is the first thing to preview the entire material. Look at the table of contents or the outline of the material and see what headings and subheadings are included there to have a gist of what to expect from that material. And when you have gotten this, you delve into the reading proper. As you read, 3 key things I advise you do. Take notes while reading. And this is not like copying or repeating everything that you are reading from your text, but it is taking key points and major points along the way as you read. Now, when you read, there could be some lists, there could be some things that come up. You can use mnemonics even till today. When I want to type the word exercise on my computer, I still use this funny mnemonics that never leaves my mind from the primary school. Ele times ele, rice, customer. I see ele. That's really funny, but I still use it to type exercise. In fact, each time I type exercise, that thing comes to my mind as I type it. How about Mr. Ninjabi? This is something that we all use. I hope you did, to remember the characteristics of living things in our first integrated science course. And for me as a geographer, I have this mnemonics I use to remember the order of the planets as it is from the distance from the sun. M, Vem, Jason, which is like Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and then Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and what's that again? Neptune, and then they reclassified Pluto. So things like this, are things that helps you, to easily remember things for a length of time that you can never imagine. And as you read, finally, to make your reading worth the while, practice active reading. And what active reading means that is that you are reading, and you are reading to context, and you are also immersing yourself in the material. You're looking at the practical application of what you are reading in real life situations. And you are thinking of examples, you are thinking of simpler ways to explain what you are reading to probably a 5-year-old, a younger student. In doing this, you are able to understand, assimilate the content of this material that you're reading, and you are able to repeat it anywhere else. Now, when you have read and read properly, that's not the final point. The third point we're going to look at is to review what you have read and summarize. Remember, we talked about active reading. You review it and summarize. You look again at the notes you have made, and then you rehearse these mnemonics that you have made, and then you look at the contexts which you have penned down while trying to explain to yourself, or imagine yourself explaining to a 5-year-old the content of what you are reading. You summarize all the points all together, from this material, and when you do this, you repeat, you repeat, you repeat, you repeat the main material, you repeat your own summary. In that way, what you have read is ingrained into the long-term memory. And repetition doesn't mean repeat once. It means you come back again, probably some days' time, you repeat, or in some weeks' time, you repeat, just to ensure that that information does not decay. You see, in these ways, you're able to counter the 4 theories I've given to you, because if you repeat it, then it doesn't decay. And then if you go ahead to be active in your reading, you think of different contexts and different applications of that thing. You're not going to have a cue dependent forgetting. And as you repeat and repeat and repeat the process, you see there will be no place for giving room for the consolidation, consolidated forgetting, or whatever it was called. And so in doing this, we are able to overcome forgetting. Are able to retrieve this information from our memories anytime it is required. But after doing all of this, I still suggest that the best way not to forget is to share your ideas in a group. Connect with others. I always did this. Connect with others before the exam, have a discussion, critique your ideas, and then hear what others have to say. And I'm telling you, this will further consolidate the information you're storing in your memory.